Solving quadratic equations using the zero factor property. For the first example here, we're going to use our Pythagorean theorem and consider this triangle. So in this triangle, we have the hypotenuse is x plus 11, one leg is x plus 10, and one leg is x plus 3. The goal of this question is going to be to find the length of each side of this triangle. So let's use our Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem says leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. Or you may have seen it as a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The legs are the two sides that form the right angle, so we will have x plus 10 squared plus our second leg is x plus 3 squared equals our hypotenuse, which is x plus 11 squared. Now we need to FOIL each of these. X plus 10 squared means x plus 10 times x plus 10. Same thing for these. It means x plus 3 times x plus 3, x plus 11 times x plus 11. So we need to FOIL this, we need to FOIL this, we need to FOIL this. So if we do that, here we're going to get x squared plus 20x plus 100. Then if we FOIL x plus 3 times x plus 3, that's going to give us x squared plus 6x plus 9. If we FOIL x plus 11 times x plus 11, that gives us x squared plus 22x plus 121. Now we need to combine like terms. Let's move all of these over so that we can get equals 0 on the right side. So that'll give us x squared plus x squared, moving this one over, minus x squared. So that leaves us with x squared. 20x plus 6x is 26x. Minus, when we move over, the 22x, that gives us 4x. 100 plus 9 gives us 109, minus 121, that gives us minus 12. Now we need to factor. So we have our factors to set equal to 0. So 1 times 12 is 12, and then we have a positive times a negative is a negative. So I need two numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add to positive 4. Well, we know we have x here and x here. So multiplying to negative 12 and adding to positive 4. Let's use negative 2 and positive 6. Then we have x plus 2 equals 0. Whoops. X minus 2 equals 0. So we can say x equals 2 from right here. We have x plus 6 equals 0. So we can subtract and we get x equals negative 6. Now let's look at this in the context of our question. If we have x equaling 2, that means we can put our 2 right here. So we'll have 2 plus 11, that gives us 13. If we have x equals 2, that would be 2 plus 3, that gives us 5. And then here we would have 2 plus 10, that gives us 12. So the lengths of the sides would be 5, 12, 13. But we have two solutions. When we solved this, we also got x equals negative 6. So let's put negative 6 in. If I have negative 6 plus 3, that gives me negative 3. Can I have a length of negative 3? I can have a length of 3 units in the negative direction, but I cannot have a length of negative 3. I can't have a value for a length that is negative. So that means this won't work, which means this won't work. So in the context of our question, x equals negative 6 is not a valid solution. In the context of our calculations right here, yes, it works, but it does not work in the context of the parameters for this question. So in this case, our solution is just x equals 2, and to answer our question, the length of the sides are 5, 12, and 13. Let's try again. So let's say we have a rectangular coffee table. If the length is 1 foot greater than twice the width, so here's the width, the length is 1 foot greater than twice the width. And the surface area of the table is 10 square feet. So the area equals 10. Find its length and width. So we want to know the width and we want to know the length, and we know the whole thing is 10 square feet. Well, we know to figure out area, that's length times width. So area in this case is 10, is the length, which we're told is 2w plus 1, times the width. First thing we need to do is distribute our w. Now we need it to say equals 0. Now we need to try to factor. You can use some guess and check, you can use the AC method, you can do the box method, however you'd like is perfectly fine. So what we're trying to figure out is 2 times 10, that's going to give us negative 20, and we need to simplify it to just one w in the middle. So if we do 2w and w, that will give us 2w squared, and then we can do 5 and negative 2. Because 2w times negative 2, that will give us negative 4, and w times 5, that will give us 5. So 5 plus negative 4, that gives us our 1. So that means our two factors are 2w plus 5 equals 0, and w minus 2 equals 0. So solving this one, we can add our 2 to both sides, and we get w equals 2. Solving this one, we need to move our 5 over, so we have negative 5 equals 2w. And then we need to divide both sides by 2, so we have negative 5 halves equals w. But let's see what works in the context of our question. So our question asked us to find the length of the sides. Well, I can put this 2 right here in, and that will tell me the length of this one is 2, and the length here is 2 times 2 plus 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So that one works. Can I use this negative 5 halves? Well, if I put negative 5 halves right here for w, I'm going to get a negative length, and that's not going to work. So in the context of this question, this one doesn't work. Here we have the 2 substituting in, so we get 5 feet and 2 feet.